I stand naked before you because I'm bearing my soul. I'm unleashing myself from the chains of doubt, of fear, of anguish, of pain. I'm bearing my soul to God, asking him to keep his covenant with man, asking him to keep his covenant with me. That as long as I'm walking down the path of destiny, as long as I'm fighting for truth and faith and love and peace, that he will accept me as I am. I am naked before the Lord, but no illusions on whether I'm written in the book of life or not. I feel myself unworthy of the gates of heaven because there are those that need to go before me. I'm happy with standing outside the gates of heaven before I allow somebody who was supposed to go before me left in the back of the line. I'm one of those who believe that those who suffer the most on this earth deserve to be able to wear their crown and their robes and be able to enter the kingdom of God where hope and love and peace dwells. That they will be amazed by the angels that shall lift them up into the clouds with God. I think about those who've worked their whole entire life on the causes of righteousness without a dime, without a penny going into their pockets. They deserve to go to heaven before I do. I don't mind waiting in the back of the line. I don't mind sitting outside the gate of heaven. I want to walk in the valleys. I want to sit and meditate in the valleys. I want to see the new earth. But that's not why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't expect to be repaid anything for what I'm doing. I do it because it is the right thing to do. I do it because I understand the laws of God and I follow him and I am a servant. I'm a servant to God just as I'm a servant to man. You call upon me, I shall arise. I shall speak to you. I shall comfort you. And believe that I will tell you the truth, even in the hardest situations of your life. Now you can rebuke the truth that I'm saying, but I'm naked before you. Everything is exposed. My heart is on my wrist. Because I'm not afraid to show my heart. I'm preparing for war. To put on my armor. To defend my God. See, I believe that Christianity teaches you to be passive. But the devil is not passive. When you are passive, the devil runs around all across your life, screwing up things, having family members bring drama to your door, being going out into the world and being afraid of what's going to happen, whether you're going to be robbed or raped or something. I believe in a God that's more powerful than any God you have ever known by your existence. Because he has given me power to be able to see beyond the realms of earth. For me to be able to read and understand the laws that he has laid down. To accept the Lamb Lamb inside my heart and pray that the Lamb is healed and be able to rise from the floor of heaven. Because Revelation says he's on the floor of heaven. The floor laid slain for our sakes. It's time for a revolution. It's time for us to live up to who we are. It's time for us to begin to protect our brothers and sisters against the enemy that's coming. The strong must look out for the weak. The strong must look out for the blind and the deaf. The strong must stand. The strong must change lives and inspire those who has the ability, the gifts of God to go out and do their job, to be on time. Whether it's at work, at home, at a barbecue, at a party, it's time for you to realize that every moment of your life you should be speaking truth and living truth and be naked. Which means you hide in nothing. There's nothing for you to hide. You're naked spiritually. Before somebody start walking down the street naked, I just want to say it's spiritually. We are the children of destiny, and that's not something to run away from, because God has already chosen us to do his work. We can't turn around with our tails between our legs. We can't be afraid because we're in the belly of the beast now. We must cut our way out. We must fight our way out. I say to the devil, bring it on. Because I know how to defeat the devil. The truth, my love, my authority given to me by my God, my peaceful nature. I'm a warrior for truth. NSJT, no secrets, just truth. I can hear the voice of God. I can feel the voice of God. I can feel his presence. I follow in his footprints so that I may not get lost in the darkness or the wilderness. I see the glow of God. I do all the things I do before God naked. I'm not like Adam and Eve with the fig leaves trying to cover up something. No, I stand naked before the Lord and proclaim that I love my people. I love him. And I will not enter the gates of heaven unless those who I have inspired, those who have been through so much, get to go before me. Let them in. They deserve to be first in line. They deserve to be wearing a crown and robe. I'm satisfied with still wearing the armor of God. I can't wait to talk to the angels of how much I love the Lord and what the Lord has done for me in my life. Even though it's written in the book of life, I can't wait. I can't wait to give my testimony. I can't wait to stand before God and remind God why I made the decisions that I made and why I messed up, and accept my consequences. All I want to do is see my God again. So I stand naked so that those who meet me know that I am pure in heart and soul and mind and body. That I bear the strength of the Lord. When they asked Jesus, why did he do the things that he do? he said unto them, by what authority do you do the things that you do? So don't question my authority, my ability to conquer, my ability to speak the truth, my ability to have faith in abundance, my ability to light up a room, my ability to be a lighthouse for all mankind. The Lord has given me abilities in which I cannot deny. He has given me a righteous path to follow that I shall not deviate from. See, most of us think this world is it. That God is meaningless and only lives in the Bible. And you haven't seen miracles and you haven't seen major displays that God is God. Because we still thinking about the Old Testament with the fire and parting of the Red Sea and turning things to a pillar of salt and Jonah and the whale and Noah. We still looking for a sign. But God already has told us through the Lamb that He lives in our blood. He lives in our body. It is the reason why the Last Supper was important. Jesus said, drink of my blood, eat of my flesh. Which means that now your ability to communicate with God is within you. That you have the authority, just as Jesus had the authority to speak out and speak the gospels and move the obstacles out of his way and yes, die for the truth. He didn't shrink from it. He didn't rebuke God. He didn't try to save his own skin. He had some doubt in him though. They won't tell you that in church. But when he said, let this cup pass from me, he meant, God, please don't make me go through with this. But the Lord told him the purpose of what he was doing when he was fasting and praying. And he knew that he had to get up on that cross, that he had to have his hands nailed to the cross, that he had to wear the thorns around his head. He knew he would be spit upon, scourged, beaten, that he will be hit in the side with the spear. With his last breath, he said, God, my work is done. And there was an earthquake. In his death, we have become lazy. We have become worthless. We have become the greatest self-doubters in any generation. We're walking around saying that we atheists. We walk around saying we're not going to church because they believe I'm a sinner. We're all sinners falling short of the glory of God. So I call upon you to stand naked with me, with your soul being exposed, which means to reveal what lies behind. It's a time for us to open our hearts up. It's a time for us to dust up off the word and read it. It's a time to start lighting your lamps. It's a time for the shepherds to start leading their flocks. It's going to be hard to go in those churches and persuade them to believe in your cause. But we must do it with our own people, our own neighbors right now. We must begin a movement that stretches across the world. We must become lighthouses for all mankind. So those who seek the Lord may see the light and come into the light and hear the gospels that have been long forgotten. Hear the words of Jesus testify. It's time to raise the lamb up and heal him. They said we have the power to raise the dead, heal the sick, and rebuke demons. I think it's our job to raise the lamb up, who lay slain on the floor of heaven, as is talked about in Revelations in the beginning. We need to read the 7 letters of the 7 churches so that we may be able to understand there will be a third person sitting on the throne. That's what they won't tell you. There's another one coming. He will be given the iron scepter to dash all nations to pottery pieces. Read it. Read Revelations. And the child shall be lifted up and taken to God. And that child will have the iron scepter to dash all nations to pottery pieces. Didn't know it was a third one, did you? It's time to research and hear what he said to the 7 churches. There was only one church that had the blessing of God, and that's the Church of Philadelphia. But what I believe these letters means is the 7 groups of God, the 7 nations of God. We must stop thinking that because we get baptized and saved that we are going to heaven. Because we must be baptized by the fire, which means the turmoil and raging power of the devil. And coming out on the other side still believing in the power of God. Baptism by water is easy. Baptism by fire is hard. When I used to work in the kitchen, I used to throw my new employees straight into the fire. You're not going to learn by standing and watching. You're going to learn by doing it. We can sit in church all day and read this book over and over and over and over and over again, or we can learn how to do what we're supposed to do with the word and put it into action in our own lives and in our own community. That's why our nation is suffering. That's why our world is decaying. That's why there are so many going hungry. That's why there's war all over the place. That's why there is unrest, because man's rule is not living up to the rule of God. We are searching for peace, and if we want peace, then we must be peaceful. But don't let the peacefulness fool you. We must also be warriors of the truth and deny the lies that have been told to us over and over again. It's time for us to stand naked before the Lord And before the world, it's time to be naked.